If some parts of the Northwest Metro seem harder to navigate than others, you're right. Reporter Meredith Hackler shows us how road construction is impacting Brooklyn Boulevard in Brooklyn Center.
If you travel down Brooklyn Boulevard in Brooklyn Center, you know it's a busy place for traffic, and all of this construction is making it worse.
I think the construction sucks.
That's the reaction that some people have when construction season hits.
And everywhere you go, there's holes or turnarounds or the streets are blocked, which makes it difficult and wear and tear on your car. You know, inconvenience for trying to get somewhere.
While Lori might not have a favorable view of construction, the city of Brooklyn Center says this is something that's necessary.
With the project, we're looking at doing a full reconstruction of Brooklyn Boulevard, looking at replacing some of the utilities, improving the pedestrian access. We're adding a sidewalk on the east side of the road and a 10-foot trail on the west side of the road.
Some drivers find the construction confusing.
Because you don't know which way to go, and it's possible to have an accident, you know, especially if someone's on Friday night weekend live. Yeah, it's messed up.
Others say construction is just a part of a Minnesota summer.
Yeah, it's all bad, but it's all going to end up in a good place sooner than later, I hope. And we're going to be able to get around a lot better than we are right now.
However, there are ways to stay on top of the ever-changing detours.
So with our road closure detours, we typically do send out notices on our Civic Send system that you can sign up on the city's webpage. We also try to post information in our weekly construction updates regarding road closures or detours.
Construction is expected to be done by October of this year, but if you are someone who travels on this road regularly, make sure you stay aware of ever-changing detours. In Brooklyn Center, Meredith Hackler, CCX News.
According to the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention, more than 47,000 people died of suicide in 2017. It's why a Brooklyn Park nonprofit is raising awareness to help those struggling with their mental health. Here again is Meredith Hackler.
Statistics say that for every person that dies by suicide, a minimum of 137 people are directly affected by that.
Chris Shaw helped establish the Heart and Mind Connection in 2017. The Brooklyn Park nonprofit provides programs and services to those suffering with mental health issues. Chris knows firsthand the struggle of mental health.
Grew up in New York City, alcoholic father who was physically and emotionally abusive, a sexual assault when I was 12 years old by a stranger, all these things that I blame myself for. As a young child, that's really devastating.
Those traumatic events in Chris's life caused him to withdraw from people. He went through a number of personal problems, which eventually led to a suicide attempt in 2015.
On the night of my attempt, I felt that there was no hope that I would ever feel any better than I did in that moment, and I didn't want to go on feeling that way. I didn't know how else to fix it.
After that dark moment, Chris went to treatment where he was diagnosed with PTSD and bipolar disorder. Now he shares his story to those suffering with mental health issues.
I hope that they understand that we're trying to, as a nation, normalize this conversation, that mental health issues are as important as physical health issues, and that mental illness and substance use disorder are illnesses and need to have the same parity in how they're looked at for care as cancer or diabetes.
Now his nonprofit is partnering with the city of Brooklyn Park and its police department to host a mental health awareness event, all with the hope of letting people know they aren't alone. Meredith Hackler, CCX News.
The mental health event takes place Monday at the Brooklyn Park Community Activity Center. It starts at 5:30 p.m. with a documentary movie screening starting at 6:30. Due to limited seating, reservations are required, and we'll have more details at ccxmedia.org. Well, it's all about dads this weekend. The 11th annual Brooklyn Park Father's Day picnic and golf outing takes place Saturday. Folks can tee off at Brooklyn Executive 9 at 10 a.m. and then head over to Central Park for a barbecue. Organizer Terry Austin says the event is about honoring fathers and helping them to be better dads.
Fathers have to feel as though they're valued. And being able to be a father, you have to somewhat have a support system around you, specifically for some of those fathers that are single fathers or those fathers that are co-parenting their kids. This is a great avenue to meet fathers that are in the same situations as them.
The event is sponsored by nonprofit Positive Image. Golfing costs $35 per person, but the picnic is free. Well, summer is definitely the time for outdoor activities. Neil Persley found the perfect one for any age in today's Weekend Showcase.
When you think Brookview in Golden Valley, you might think beautiful golf course, and rightly so. But remember, Brookview has a beautiful new lawn bowling green too.
It's for everybody. We've got juniors out here, ages 3-4 years old, all the way up to grandma and grandpa too.
It's just relaxing and it's easy to do, no pressure, not like it doesn't get in your head like golf does.
The object is pretty easy. Roll your bowls as close to the jack as possible.
63 1/4. Yeah, by 1/4 of an inch.
There are always friendly instructors around like Jordan to answer questions about rules or subtle disputes about distance from the jack.
It's the best way to spend time with coworkers, honestly.
You reserve a lawn bowling rink just the way you would make a tee time. And don't miss your chance to try lawn bowling for free.
The last Friday of every month from 6 to 9 p.m. It's free for all. There's no reservations. It's just kind of based on first come, first served.
What are you waiting for? For Weekend Showcase from Brookview in Golden Valley, Neil Persley, CCX News.
Now to a fun event just across the Robbinsdale border. Thursday night was the first night of the Live on the Drive Summer Concert Series, and here's a little taste of that.
I'll always be in love with you.
The state baseball tournament started Thursday in the three smallest classes. The Benilde-St. Margaret's Red Knights faced Marshall in the Class 3A quarterfinals at Seabird Field. In the top of the first, Benilde's Evan Brown knocks a single into right field. Harrison Shibley comes around to score from second base, and the Red Knights have a quick 1-0 lead. The pitchers take over from there. BSM righty Blake Mahmoud gets the swinging strikeout, one of 11 Ks, and a complete game effort for him. Marshall gets the leadoff man on in the fifth, but Mahmoud fields the bunt and fires to second to start a key double play and keep the Tigers off the board. In the seventh, Ian Barr pokes a liner to right and it eludes the right fielder's diving try here. Johnny Woodford scores and Barr's triple. They add another run on a balk to make it 3-0. Mahmoud gives up a solo homer in the bottom of the seventh, but he gets out of trouble with another strikeout as Benilde wins 3-1. They also won Friday to advance to the title game next week. We'll have more state tournament highlights Monday on our Sports Jam show here on CCX. The Benilde-St. Margaret's boys lacrosse team is the #1 seed for the state tournament. The Red Knights face St. Thomas Academy in the semifinals. Benilde's Jackson Lyshow gets a step on the defender and buries the shot for a quick 1-0 lead a minute and a half into the game. Watch Jack Van Overbeek make a couple of nice change of direction moves, and then he turns and fires to make it 3-0. He nets 5 goals total. It's 4-0 after 1. Ahead to the third quarter, and Van Overbeek passes in close to Clom Stores for the goal to make it 6-2 Red Knights. Later in the third, Van Overbeek gets another assist as he sets up Matt Dowden. The Red Knights win 10-3. They'll meet defending state champion Prior Lake for the title Saturday night at 6 at Chanhassen High School. Wayzata plays Mahtomedi for 5th place Saturday morning at 11 at Minnetonka. In girls lacrosse, Breck is making its first state tournament appearance. After defeating Forest Lake in the quarterfinals, the Mustangs met second seed Prior Lake in the semifinals. Breck has a hard time containing the Lakers' Josie Kropp. She lasers the shot in for one of her 6 goals. Lauren Wick sets up Mackenzie Salatra for another Prior Lake goal. Breck's Emily Dugan makes a strong run to the net, but her shot knocked down and stopped by Prior Lake's Grace Maddox. Hannah Poldo breaks in for the Mustangs, but she's stopped by Maddox as well. Another nice setup by Wick, and Prior Lake freshman Ava Schlitz will finish here with a goal. Breck loses 21-3. Mustangs play Lakeville North for 3rd place Saturday afternoon. Maple Groves girls take on Stillwater for 5th place Saturday morning. The annual Dudley Budweiser Softball Classic returns to Brooklyn Center this weekend. I talked to tournament director Scott Brown about what's new for this year's event.
The improvement is we got a lot more conference teams. So nationally, we got 13 conference teams in the tournament this year, with 16 out-of-state teams in a 25-team field. So 9 local teams trying to take down one of those 16. It's pretty cool. On the women's side of things, we added another team this year, have 5 out-of-state teams and 6 local teams. So kept the women's division going. It was exciting last year, even though weather shortened our tournament last year, but we're hoping for good things this year.
2 men's major teams this year, and you didn't have any last year, right?
Yeah, we got them back. It was a matter of talking them. They love the atmosphere. They love the history of this event. And I think by taking a year off and not being here, they realize that they're missing something pretty big, and they're back, and I'm excited to have them back. And we have Dan Smith coming back as well, which hasn't been. He's kind of been in and out of the game here for the past few years, but he's coming back. Those teams I played on back in the day, and it's exciting to have that family back here at this event.
Games start at 5 p.m. Friday and continue all night at Centennial Park and Brooklyn Center. Action begins again Saturday at 8 a.m. with the championship game slated for Sunday morning. Fields will be used at Evergreen Park and Brooklyn Center, Noble Sports Park in Brooklyn Park as well. That's all for sports. More news after this.